It's Miss Coconut. So how are you feeling? I'm feeling well. So here we are. This is a huge astrological time of the year. Okay, not only is the energy high because we're heading into the Christmas season, but this is also full moon time, the last full moon of the decade. This moon is called the cold moon, okay? Or the oak moon, even, because they used to go ahead and cut down mistletoe for prosperity and protection because it stayed green, through the winter. So it signified strength. So this is a very potent moon. Traditionally, people teach you when the full moon comes, it's time to release, right? I would like to give a different spin on that because I want you to release your fears, release your worries, release your trepidation, release your procrastination, release anything that is hindering you from manifesting prosperity and abundance into your life. Because guess what? This moon is magical. It's full, it's abundant, it's lush. The full moon represents everything that you have inside of you to make sure that you reach your full potential, okay? This is about potential because it's been growing. All the seeds that you planted should be growing and growing, helping you get closer to your goals. So this is a lush moon to manifest under. So get your glass jars out. Make sure they have tops on them. They need to be covered tight so nothing gets into your water. We're making moon water. I'm going to show you various. Do I mess up a word every video, y'all? Really? All this time I'm still doing that? Anyway, I'm going to show different variations, okay? If you are listening to my channel for the first time, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate your time. Okay, so we have the full moon going, and the moon, I think, also happens to be heading into Gemini. Gemini is the sign of the messenger, right? So this is where you're going to get downloads and information and ideas and awareness. Okay, Gemini is that air sign, so definitely tap into the airwaves, technology. Use technology. Google is your friend. This is the time that you should be networking and implementing different ideas. Maybe the traditional way of doing things won't work for you. And that's what Gemini is all about. It is a very quirky energy because it cannot be tethered. So you want to go out on a limb during this time and try some different things that you have not tried. And guess what else is happening? We have the famous wounded healer cosmic energy of Chiron finally coming out of retrograde. And that is all about our deepest wounds, the things that we just can't heal from, can't get over. And when it comes to poverty mindset, a lot of it has to do with childhood. And if you were starved, if you were hungry, if you always had to wear the same, pair of shoes, if you always were the poorly dressed child in the class, if you never could go anywhere because your family never had money, all of those wounds have stayed with you. And see, the mythology of Chiron is all about him being wounded with an arrow that he could never recover from, because it was like, I think, Hercules' arrow. And so even though he went on to become a famous healer, he could never heal himself. So Chiron comes into each of our charts for the most part. You could pull your natal chart to see where it sits in your placement, and it deals with the thing that binds and hinders you the most. So we've all been experiencing that, going through these lessons and trying to, declutter and untether ourselves, right, from these deep, dark wounds that we can't seem to escape. And we have to make peace with the wound, okay, because it doesn't go away. So you have to make peace with it. And so with that energy coming out of retrograde, finally we get some peace and we get to a place of acceptance. Okay? A place of acceptance. It's just like loving yourself. You know, some things physically about yourself you would change. You know, some of us want plastic surgery. I would like a bigger booty and a flatter tummy. Seriously though, there are some things about yourself you have to accept. I have a large forehead. There's nothing I can do about that. And when I was younger, I used to wear bangs all the time to cover it up. And then eventually I just learned to accept my big forehead. And now it's kind of in, right? I mean, Rihanna has one. So anyway, besides that energy, we also have numerology coming into play because the full moon is entering its phase of the last moon of the full moon of the decade on December 12th. So 12/12. So now we have the angel numbers, okay? Which is all about purpose. And it's all about staying focused on your goals and manifesting abundance and being daring enough to go out for and go after everything that you desire. How bold can you be during this time? This is the moment to just go jump off the ledge, right? Some of you have been peeping over the precipice. It's time to leap over and go and get everything that you desire. And so here we go with this prosperity moon water. So the first thing that I want to say is, depending on what you put into your moon water is going to pretty much determine how you can use it. So I have some items I'm showing you. You need a glass jar with a lid because this water is going outside in the moonlight. And in fact, all you witches, blitches, and others, you should go outside and take in the energy of this full moon. The potency is beautiful. So you need a glass jar with a lid. Make do, okay? If you don't have a glass jar, use plastic. If you don't have a top, put some plastic over with a rubber band. You have to improvise. The light will still get through. Don't worry. As long as it's glass, it's fine. Okay, now, if you want it to be about prosperity, you can add some coins, all right? If you find coins here and there and you pick them up, as I've talked about before, you know, if it's heads, you pick them up. If it's tails, you have to do a little ritual and then pick it up. So some found coins, spring water, glass jar, and it could just be that simple. And then you can take the coins out after 3 days, and then you use this money wash, you know, moon prosperity water, you know, and wash your hands with it. You can make signs of the cross around the house. You can wash the doors with it. You can wash down your wallet with it. You can wash down your pocketbook with it. You could, you know, wash the bottom of your shoes with it or your threshold. It's really at your discretion. There is no limitation on how you can use that water, okay? Typically, the full moon water can sit out for 3 days because the energy of the moon is high for 3 days, okay? So if you missed it on the first day, you still have 2 more days to be able to do this and catch the potency. Someone said in a group that it's overcast. I can't see it. It doesn't matter if you can see it. Those rays are so powerful, it's going to penetrate, okay? So you don't have to worry about that. Just set it out. If you don't have a backyard, put it on the windowsill. Put it on a windowsill. It will reach. I promise. I promise. Okay. Now, if you want to take a bath with your moon water, you're going to, again, spring water. And this time you can add a little herbs. Okay. You can add some allspice and cinnamon. Might be a little bit zesty for you, but you'll be fine. You can add, I'm actually showing Master of the Woods herb because that helps to influence people. And so if you're adding an herb that has compelling power to it, then this is the kind of water that you want to use around other people. Like you wash your hands and then shake their hand with it. you know, you go in your boss's office and you kind of clean up for them with this water that you've spoke into and you've charged it and you have this herb in it that's going to compel them to give you those raises. Okay, y'all have to get slick with this stuff. So that's one more way that you can charge this for potency. You can also take that jar, fill it with the spring water again, or if you have holy water, blessed water, that works as well. And just have the water itself, and that's it. And then on top of that, you can place a dressed candle. It can be green for money, yellow or gold for money. It could be red for love, pink for love, whatever you desire. And you place the candle on top of the jar that's closed tightly. You set it outside. You burn the candle safely on top of that. And that is how you're going to dress and charge that whole jar, okay? The other thing I want to say is that if you're doing this outside or even inside, clean the space, have a little consecrated area where you do your work outside or inside, and you're going to make sure that you either have some crystals, for example, helps to amplify the work. So I'm showing you my citrine because that's good for money. You know, I'm all about generating those dollars, and I'm going to keep being about that until we all are seeing the results of it. Okay, so I'm going to keep preaching about it, keep teaching about it, and I'm going to keep practicing it until I get it where I want it to be. And so citrine crystals are another thing that you can use. You can take the water, fill it up again in the jar, and place the crystal inside the water or on top of the jar. Okay, and it's just going to help bring out the property of the crystal that you're using. You could also surround your jar with salt to protect it, right? Just a ring of salt around it. You could use crystals around it as a form of protection as well. And you can chant over it. You can bless it. You can speak words of power. You can speak your wishes into the jar before you close it. The list is endless. I also recommend that you script during this time. You write out with feeling everything that you see for your future as if it has already occurred, making sure that you are feeling grateful, relaxed, blessed, and beautiful. This is also a great time to sit with your tarot or oracle cards and pull a few cards for yourself. You can pull the cards to show what is to come, or pull the cards to see what lessons or next steps you need to incorporate. I almost forgot. If you use the spring water with the glass jar with nothing in it, meaning you're not adding any herbs, any leaves, crystal, money, nothing's in it, just spring water, you can actually drink this water, okay? You can bathe with this water. You can splash your face with this water. I wanted to remember to tell y'all that. Well, that's my time for tonight. I really do have to get outside. It's cold, but I have to do it and set these jars of water out. Thank you so much for listening. And as always, Om Shrim Brezi.